Hey, Slash do Buckaroos, and how the heck are you? I'm going to be Tom the Beer and Whiskey Whisperer for the purposes of this video. And happy Saturday to you. Thought about coming back earlier, but then I got watching some Olympics and got carried away. Thought I'd do one more with you before it became Sunday. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, pulled up. So I'm going to have a beer and a cocktail with you. Let's start with the beer, shall we? The beer from Minocqua Brewing Company out of Wisconsin is their Snowflake Holiday Ale. If I can read some of this, it's getting dark here. Uh, Creating our first progressive beer label called Biden Beer, inoffensive and not bitter. We've become a lightning rod for MAGA bullies. Well, because, they got a lot of attitude and small penises, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, because that's the bully mentality, right? They're overcompensating for something. Anyway, they love to attack us. They love to attack our brand, but we're appalled at how aggressively we punched back. In short, they could dish it out, but not take it. The classic definition of a snowflake. So there we go. Snowflake Holiday Ale. This reminds me a lot of Sierra Nevada Celebration. Very similar profile. Very similar color too. Look at that. That deep amber. It's a very nicely done beer. Very hoppy, but not bitter per se. And there is a difference. I know some can't tell a difference, but there is a difference between hoppy and bitter. Although hops are called a bittering agent, nevertheless, nevertheless, man, this is a very nicely done beer. I do like all their beers. Some I like better than others, but this one is really done well. I love the aggressive hop nature. But I also love how aggressively malty it is as well. It's not all hop. It's a nice balance of both. It is just a big aggressive beer all around, and that's one reason I really enjoy this one a lot. Winter Olympics, man, I really enjoy watching the Winter Olympics. Certain events I like better than others, if I'm being honest. I'm not crazy about the figure skating. Love the skiing, though. Love the bobsleds. Like speed skating a lot. Snowboarding events I kind of dig too. The only thing I'm really not crazy about is the ice dancing and that sort of thing. Doesn't do a damn thing for me. But I can appreciate the skill level, even though I'm not crazy about the events per se. I can appreciate the skill level to be able to do that. And although I'm not somebody that watches a lot of hockey, I certainly appreciate that as well. Harkening back to the 1980 Winter Olympics, that meant so much to my generation. I was 15 when that took place, and man, that was a time in our country's history right there. I mean, that was such a big deal. I mean, the Cold War was, I mean, as cold as it could possibly be. The only time where it might have been even colder would be the Bay of Pigs. But right at that moment, man, the tensions were high. I mean, a lot of us thought there could be there could be World War III at any minute now, the way these two were talking about each other. And that moment, man, that U.S., that underdog U.S. hockey team, man, they were, I mean, they weren't even figured to medal at all, let alone beat the USSR. But man, that was just a time. I just remember as a kid watching that, going, "Oh my God, what just happened?" And you know, I love to watch the movie Miracle. It's one of my favorite sports movies. Again, it is my favorite sports movie, actually. Even though, as I said earlier, I'm not a big hockey guy, but there's just something about that movie, the power of that movie. Kurt Russell's portrayal of Herb Brooks was just amazing, and the way Herb Brooks was able to put this team together. And it's a line in the movie, so I don't know if Herb Brooks actually said this, but he says, "I'm looking for the not looking for the best players, I'm looking for the right players." If that's what he actually said, and I kind of believe he did, that was just, I mean, just amazing. It's not always about putting the best together, putting the right people together, folks that can work together and bring out the best. And that's what Herb Brooks did with that team somehow. He took a bunch of folks that hated each other initially and then had each other's backs by the end. It was just amazing. And I'm reminded of that by the state that our country is in at the moment. We are so deeply divided. Many are talking about a civil war almost imminent because there's such a deep divide. I mean, it's what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, I don't know how we can all come together at this point. There's been so much evidence, so many facts, and then when you present it to the other side, they discount it as if it doesn't exist. So I'm not sure. In all honesty, I'm not sure how we're going to find a way to come together again as a country. I've never seen us like this before in my time. But I just remember how we all came together and put aside what differences we had in 1980 for that reason. And I wish there could be that event again, but I don't see it. It's become this big, like Sith like mentality, to borrow from Star Wars, that if you're not with me, you're against me. A lot of folks seem to forget there is a lot of middle ground, but we don't seem to be there. We're either here or here at this point, and nobody can find any middle ground. And that's what 1980 did, I guess. 1980, the Winter Olympics, that hockey match in particular, gave us all those were here and here, that middle ground that we could all agree upon. And for that brief moment in time, everybody, every American came together to root for the impossible. I mean, as the great Al Michaels said, do you believe in miracles? I mean, that was the miracle. It wasn't just the miracle of them winning that game and then gradually, then eventually winning the gold medal. It was the miracle of this deeply divided country coming together again and say, okay, we have differences, but we are one entity. And I don't know that we can do that again, in all honesty. I'm not sure what that catalyst would have to be to bring us all together to say, okay, that's our middle ground. This is what we need to fight for. We got to find a way to become one again. And again, I'm not sure what that catalyst could possibly be at this moment in time. It doesn't seem possible. But then again, I don't know that it seemed possible then too. But the divide does seem greater now. But then again, I'm looking at it differently, right? Then I was a 15-year-old kid. Now I'm a 60-year-old man, so it obviously seems quite different to me now than it did back then. To somebody 60 at that time, it might feel like the way it does to me now. So I can't speak to that. It seems like there's a greater divide now than there was then, but again, I'm not that person. So, but I like to think we could. I just don't see how. That's the sad truth. Is I cannot think of any particular event that could bring us together in a way that 1980 hockey game did. I personally have never seen us more divided than we are now. But then again, a 60-year-old person back in 1980 might feel like I do now. So that I can't speak to. So, anyways, I digress. What do you do about it, Tom? Hell, I don't know. I mean, I would like to be part. It's that Abby Hoffman. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. I would love to be part of the solution. I'm just not sure what it is. And I think that's the problem with most of us. We would love to be part of the solution. We just don't know what that is, and the problem just keeps getting bigger. I would love to be able to find a solution, but every time I think I find a talking point that somebody on this side of the aisle and I can agree with, we can't. And then I'm going, now, okay, if that doesn't work, then I'm not sure what does. I mean, with that obviously racist post coming out of the White House, I thought maybe we can all come together and say, okay, can we now agree that that is a very racist thing? And then you've got those folks again say, well, you're just misunderstanding it. Okay. Then I'm not sure, again, goes back to, I'm not sure how we're going to come together if we can't agree on what seems obvious, right? If we can't agree on actual facts, then I'm not sure what we can agree on. I'm not sure how we're going to pull together. If you can't look at that video the same way I did and say, okay, you're right, Tom, that is a very racist thing. Instead, they're looking at it going, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Oh, I think it's funny, Tom. Really? Okay. Clearly, we're just never going to see eye to eye on anything if we all can't look at that thing and say that is clearly a racist thing to post. Anyways, I digress. Let me finish this beer so I go get my cocktail. Uh, Again, I really do like this beer. It does remind me a lot of Sierra Nevada Celebration. Very similar profile. I don't think it's a clone of any kind. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the way it's put together, the aggressiveness of it, just reminds me of that particular beer in style. Let me say that. So, anyways, let me knock this back, and I'm going to grab my cocktail. All right, so the cocktail I chose to go with a classic and do an actual classic Manhattan. Almost every cocktail I do is a derivative of, but this is an actual classic Manhattan using, excuse me, using Rocktown single barrel cask rye, Versailles sweet vermouth, and Peychaud's bitters. So I went as classic with this cocktail as you could possibly get. I went the rye, the Peychaud's, and a sweet vermouth, and then a dark cherry, lay it in the bottom of the glass, and cilantro. Fuck nuggets and gravy. Oh, it's a delicious cocktail. I go for periods of time and don't make a Manhattan, then I have one, and then I'm reminded why the Manhattan is my favorite cocktail and not the old fashioned. I do enjoy an old fashioned from time to time, but I have to make them my way. Otherwise, they seem to be a little too sweet for me. But this cocktail is just gorgeous. And I do a lot of derivatives of this, as I said earlier. Sometimes I'll take out the sweet vermouth completely. And of course, it's not a Manhattan once I do that. But again, I'm using the Manhattan as a template. I use the rye or the bourbon and then add something, not necessarily equivalent, but that will do the same thing, add a little sweetness and a little acidity, like the sweet vermouth does. Just change the game up a little bit. Earlier, I did. I went for more of a dessert cocktail, turning it into a cherry cordial. And I'm looking at my bar cart now. Let's thinking, what can I do? And the ingredients I have are looking more fall than spring or Valentine's, but I may do something else later. I've got a couple thoughts, and I got a thought or two. Anyway, I digress. Boy, I do like this cocktail. Sometimes I forget how much. Let me show you this rye, though. This rye is just insane. I decided to finish this off. I got this back in August, I guess. And I've been trying to nurse it along, but once you get to a certain point, you just got to kill it, right? That's kind of where I'm at now. 57.64 gets us to what, about 115 and change. It's a single barrel cask rye. I mean, God almighty, this stuff is just beyond delicious. It's one of the best ryes you'll ever have. The only one at the moment that I can think that's comparable is the Neely single barrel cask, which is equally as good, but I don't know that one is better than the other. Which is why I do prefer buying from these little guys, Neely Family Distillery out of Sparta, Kentucky, um, Rocktown out of Little Rock. I prefer buying these guys to the big names. But what I honestly believe, if they're not better, they're at the very least of equal quality to every big name out there at the same price point at a single barrel cask. I don't these two I would put up against anybody's. I believe they are that good. Get your big name single barrel cask. I think these two are just as good, if not better. There's probably some others, but those are the two that hit me right now because I'm using the Rocktown and I can see the Neely bottle. And that Neely was so good, man. I used it till it was gone. Yeah, I mean, I bought that along with their absinthe so I can make a a Sazerac cocktail. And I tried to nurse that one along too. And then again, I got to that point where it was just time to kill it. And that's kind of what I did. And then that's kind of where I'm at with this one now. I'm right at that point. Even though the absinthe I have is from Neely family, I may have to use some of that Rocktown to make a Sazerac as well because wow, their absinthe is just insane. Everything that distillery does is just crazy good. But I'm a big fan of Rocktown as well. Oh gosh, that's a nice cocktail. And I try to set that cocktail setting up behind me, as you can see. That little setting. Got some whiskey sitting there. I don't know if I'll be back today or not. I meant to come back about 8 o'clock, but then kind of got sidetracked watching the Olympics. So I'm doing this video later than initially intended. Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow. Will I be watching? In all honesty, I don't know. I don't really care about the game if I'm being honest with you, but I would typically tune in anyway. We have no plans to go anywhere, but we might have to if we wanted to watch the game because we stream everything. So I don't know where we'd find it live. In all honesty, I'm sure it's available with the services we have. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure where if I can find it at this moment in time. And quite frankly, I know I'd have friends that would allow me to come over, for lack of a better word there, watch the game with them. But I really don't want to go anywhere. I want to stay like this. I want to stay in my moose jammies until until Monday morning when I got to start getting ready for work. I mean, I just want to relax at home and not care about a goddamn thing. So bottom line. Bottom line, yeah, if we can find a place that's streaming it, we might watch some of it. I'm pretty sure last year we just watched movies instead and didn't pay attention. The only thing we really want to watch it for, if I'm being honest, is the commercials. And I really, in the past, I've never cared about the halftime show, but I am curious about this one, mostly because it's got the far right just riled up to no end. So I'm kind of curious. I don't know anything about Bad Bunny or his music, and I'm sure it's not going to be for me. But the fact that now, because of the controversy, I've had to do some. Well, I didn't have to, but I did look into what he stands for, and quite frankly, I kind of like it. He's a decent individual. He seems to do the right thing. While the other side has hitched their wagon behind Kid Rock, who writes songs about pedophilia and rape. So I mean, it seems like the family values folks are rather confused. The person they decided was the family values entertainment. Man, I'm just not sure what they were thinking. Besides, I mean, if you look at Kid Rock, he looks like he just bought the last box of Sudafed at Dollar General. I mean, Jesus Christ, this guy's got some money. He looks like hell. He looks like the guy I see on the side of the road begging for money so I can buy more meth. But nevertheless, that's their family values guy. Here's to you. So that being said, I am curious about the Super Bowl halftime show. I mean, they're certain that Bad Bunny isn't family entertainment, and I have no idea. But I mean, a few years ago, we had J Lo and Shakira putting the hurt on spandex pants, and that seemed to be family values fine. They're okay with that. But a man might wear a dress. Holy crap, we draw the line. Why can't he just sing about pedophilia instead of wear a dress? That'd be okay with us. Anyways, I digress. Oh, mercy. My wife just gave me that look. She put on her earbuds so she and gave me that last little smirk and head shake. Anyways. Anyways, I digress. Why couldn't he just sing about that? Why does he have to sing in Spanish and wear a dress? Why can't he be like Kid Rock and sing about raping some girl and sticking his balls in her mouth? Why can't he just do that? But he's got to sing in Spanish and wear a dress. Now, where's the family values there, Tom? Oh man, I just don't get it, man. I mean, if they wanted a real family values content, you think they would have found somebody else to hitch their wagon behind. There's probably somebody out there. I mean, nobody that can draw a crowd. But I'm guessing there's somebody. It's somebody, Lee Greenwood, maybe. Well, I'm sure Lee's got some skeleton in his closet, but I mean, really, folks, I'm, I just, I, I'm not sure how they didn't think that through, right? They're mad about the Bad Bunny thing, but then they say, oh, but we got Kid Rock for family values. Really? Have you listened to any of his songs? Have you paid attention to any of the lyrics? You're not going to find any family values anywhere. anyways, I digress. I mean, again, just look at Kid Rock. He looks like Dr. Phil just walked out of a meth den after 3 months. Just look at the man. Holy Moses. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna shut her down. Tom, the beer whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and also Tom the whiskey whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and man, this Rocktown rye makes an insane Manhattan. I'm gonna show you this bottle one more time. Single barrel cast strength, Arkansas straight rye. If you ever get a chance, man, they are an amazing distillery out there in Little Rock. There's some great breweries too. There's two in particular that I really love. If you ever get a chance to get out there, Moody Brews in the Petaway district, Petaway Square area, I guess they call it. And then Southern Tail. Those two breweries knocked my socks off. So anyway, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor, wisdom, man. All around good guy selection.